during the qualifiers, and both of them are coming out here to make a statement in week 1 of the group stage, and I can't imagine that this is going to be anything but the toppest tier of Overwatch. Take it away, gentlemen.
Well, Jason, both of these teams have been crushing through their competition here today, but one team must rise, one team must fall, unless it ends up being a draw, in which case, then I guess neither team really rose or fell.
They just kind of stayed complacent, not moving
basically
much at all. Sounds, never mind. Anyway, so yeah, Aishavalda, we actually did get the opportunity to see these two teams play recently on this map, just, you know, over a course of a VOD or something like that. And we've seen some good things. We've seen some adaptations from both teams. We've seen, obviously, the time that they did spend from last week to this week has definitely helped these two teams improve.
I think so as well, and also I think LK, just from videos I've seen, I feel like they're a little bit more comfortable on hybrid maps to begin with, so the fact that we do have Ike involved here in the rotation, I do think this favors Laserkins a little bit in terms of putting on a better performance. We'll see if it's able to translate here.
Look what we're seeing. Do you see it?
Oh my goodness.
I got my Craigasms ready to be spammed in chat here, because Tavik's going to be on Pharah.
Yes.
And I have very fond memories. I mean, I hope I'm not looking back with rose-tinted glasses on him, you know, over at APAC playing, but this man on Pharah is a beast, and they're running Pharah and a Genji together.
Well, unfortunately, on the other side of it, the Hanzo dream is not going to happen. Hex breathing a sigh of relief in the back room. He will not be triggered here today, but I'm excited to see some Tavik on Pharah because it does harken back to the old days, Jason.
I feel like Hex is that old man, you know, when kids get on their lawn, you just get off my lawn every time. Like, we never see something like this. But yeah, the Hanzo's not being played here, but we do see Tavik in the sky giving a lot of freedom here. As you can see, Mineral just kind of roaming between different targets to heal up. But so far, it's been a relatively equal trade between both teams. But
this is really good for Laserkins. The respawns are going to be coming in soon, and Munchkin, he's still at full HP, still unchecked, able to move in and around. And yes, even though more of his team has died around him, he finds the kill on Tavik. Tavik, it gets taken down there as reinforcements come in, and suddenly, Laserkins has turned what was a trade out into a blowout here on the first point.
Well, look at the decision that was made out of Gray. He switched. He switched over to Soldier here just to be like, all right, well, I know we got quite a few kills. I can run back really quickly. They have a Pharah Mercy, so let me try to help deal with them in the air. And he did just that. Switches back to Zenyatta here. So Laser Kittens, perfect. That was flawless out of them. Really well done, and to really adapt quickly.
It was an excellent swap, and unfortunately, Jason, your dreams, my dreams, they're grounded. They're now taking the form of a British woman.
That seems like a good dream for me. I don't know what's gonna happen in that dream, but it sounds absolutely fantastic. Either way, though, Munchkin's still trying to trying to fight on the payload here. As Misfits trying to go for the early defense before we can get through the doorway. And obviously, with the door opening a little bit slowly, they have time for another refight after, so at least to get set up yet again.
The thing that's tough here is that Misfits is going for the aggressive defense, but they're not really trading out the way you want to here. They're buying time, but it's coming at a very significant cost. Just look at the ultimate that LK is building up here, Jason. This is very advantageous to them. It's gonna put a lot of pressure, I feel like, on Nevix to perform on his next Dragon Blade.
Yeah, it's kind of a rough situation if you're Misfits there, right? You want to obviously contest as much as you can, but you don't want to feed over ultimates, and Laser Kitten's smartly enough didn't invest anything. Keep in mind, Gray switched to Zenyatta after they took the first point, and he's at 80% on his ultimate because of that last fight out of Misfits. So even if Nevix wants to use a Dragon Blade, the chance he's going to get a successful one off is just completely gone.
There's a tiny window right now, and LK looking to put on the pressure. Kib, the blade is out, moving to the back, buying space for Munchkin and Mauzaza here, and it's a team effort here from LK. The engagement, catching Misfits completely off guard, and they keep the momentum rolling forward. This is a different Laserkins team that we saw last week.
Well, I think last week they're more like BB gun Kittens at this rate. Yeah, Kib's blade, yeah, pretty standard. Getting a couple of kills there. I want to focus a lot on Krems actually in this matchup because we've seen a lot of Korean divas just be amazing. Zephyr, in my mind, for Cloud9 really stands out, which we'll be able to see tomorrow because his defensive play on D.Va is insane. The amount of protection he's able to provide and the amount of damage he's able to mitigate to allow his supports to just stay alive.
Korean players in general, when they play on D.Va, they're much more team-oriented, as you mentioned, and it's their ability to go back and keep the backline alive, which really helps. And Laserkins right now, they have a lot of momentum, but it should be coming to an end. Misfits is coming out with just about everything on the deck. Here comes Nevix. The Nano Blade is underway, going straight to the backline. And Misfits, in a fight they needed to win, in a fight they should have won, they're going to win.
Yeah, I mean, if you're not going to win with the Nano Boost and the Blade and the Soundbreak on top of that, like, you maybe should rethink what you're doing strategy-wise. We did see Nevix instantly pick up the kill on the Line Pro, who wasn't able to get his Sound Barrier off. I believe we heard him try to go for it, but he got picked off in the air. And then Nevix was able to force out Munchkin as well, and then kind of keep Krems out of the fight. But still a lot of ultimates invested into this. Pulse Bomb out of Tvik is going to be a major stall factor to build up a couple of ultimates, maybe get reinforced close to that Primal Rage, which can be so effective on this bridge. Oh, the Pulse Bomb!
The Pulse Bomb comes in, it doesn't connect, and you're right, it was up to Tvik here to buy a little bit of breathing room. Still might be able to do that, though, because Tvik comes in from the back, Nevix comes in the front, and Manitin ends with the exclamation point. Nerf this. Goodbye to both supports on Laserkins as Misfits brings us right back and gets some much-needed stability here, Jason.
I mean, that was a perfect example of a party room, right? You had people coming from the front, people coming from the back, and everyone was just getting locked in that room to their death. Again, they can assault. Either way. Laser Kittens, though, they have the blade ready for Kip, right? And we look on the side of Misfits, they're still not running Zenyatta. Zebasai still sticking to the Alana because they want that extra oomph, that extra bit of pow for Nevix to pick up kills. But they have nothing to counter Kip once he uses his blade, especially in a tight area like this.
Now, this is where any target is a good target for Kip to throw the blade, but he might not even need to use it here early on. Laserkins get some raw pickups, but no, Kip, he is out for blood. He wants to pile this on. Blade in close quarters, and doesn't really get a whole lot out of it here. Luckily for him, Laserkins is still doing well. They get onto the payload, and they're about to punch this one right in, Jason.
Does anyone can contest? I think Tvik is off to the side, potentially going to go for it. Manitin has gone down before he can get around the corner in time. Tvik's going to be the man there, yes, but Zebasai and him alone is not going to be enough to defend this one. Even with the Battle Grenade coming onto Line Pro, he still is able to survive here. As Nevix chimes in, tries to come in from the high ground, gets the dash reset, but doesn't have the damage. And just like that, Laserkins will get the second point, and we'll put 3 minutes on the board.
They have a beefy 3 minutes left here, Jason, where this is plenty of time to work with. They might not have the most outwires going into the next fight. And sure, maybe Nevix uses that to his advantage in Feast because Nano Blade is on deck, but even if Nevix gets everything he wants and more here, Laserkins is still going to be set pretty well for the next fight.
Yeah, considering they have Transcendence, right? So if you see Nevix use the blade with the Nano Boost, and if Transcendence comes out without any Biotic Grenade, then you're saying goodbye to 2 ultimates.
Well, here we go. The Self-Destruct opens things up on a good note, and Laserkins 3-1 here. They don't want to wait for a Junk Rush. They just go in, Nano Blade or not, and Nevix only gets 1 before falling here. So Misfits gets caught off guard by the Self-Destruct. They still engage with 5 people, and Laserkins punishes them here, Jason, as they are building what could be game-winning momentum right now.
Maybe, I don't know. I still find it hard, though, for them to finish this one off because you still have Zebasai and Reinforce to drag this out for a very long time. Obviously, get him the Nano Boost, get him extra tanky, build up that ultimate, use the Primal Rage to buy even more time. They're going to have a lot of ground, yes, but I don't think the final nail's going to come to the coffin just yet.
Munchkin, the Pulse Bomb connects,
Wait, okay,
Reinforce goes down immediately. That is 1 threat down, Jason, that you're just mentioning, and Laser Kittens piling on here. Everything going their way. Nevix gets a little bit of blood in the back, but it's Manitin giving a little bit of stability. They're not out of hot water here yet, Jason, but Reinforce is back in, and things are looking a little bit brighter for Misfits now.
Yeah, he's got the Primal Rage, so he definitely should be able to survive this one. Looks like the Bio Grenade is not able to connect onto Reinforce, but it doesn't seem like he needs it. Does have the healing from the back line, and still a little bit surprised to see Misfits still committing to an Ana the entire time. They have not switched to Zenyatta, which is actually obviously very, very strong. So maybe this is them saying, well, maybe Nevix needs a little bit of extra help, or maybe you want to use the Battle Grenade to counter a lot of these Transcendences and make Nevix that much more deadly and that much more fearful. If they can force Gray, if they can do this to use Transcendences, or Transcendi, I don't know what's the plural of Transcendences, then it allows Nevix to really become a major factor.
Well, here comes Misfits right now. Sound Barrier in play. They want to deep dive even more, buy themselves some vital time as we are into the final minute right here and right now. And that Gambit, Jason, works out. They're able to get 2 kills off of the engagement, and they're really well prepared for what is likely to be the final fight. So now it's Laser Kittens, Jason, that's to dig deep and find a way in a fight that they're going to be at a disadvantage, where Nevix will be in their face with the Nano Blade.
Yeah, I mean, they have actually nothing coming up anytime soon to stop us, unless somehow Nevix messes up and the Self-Destruct kills him. If that happens, then there's a very good likely chance that Laser Kittens could go for that final push to end off this map, at least in overtime. But there's Nevix going in directly, not giving that chance for the engagement they wanted to, and the Bio Grenade as well following up to do some good damage.
Nevix looking for blood, and he's going to taste it. Gray going down early on. 2 kills here from Misfits, but there's one potential upside here. It's going to be very much in the wire, but I do wonder if Misfits can delay. They get the pick off on Tvik. Is there a chance for a miracle here, Jason, as they look to delay and go for one final attempt?
There's already a person on the payload here. I think someone snuck in the back, and Mazaza with the Primal Rage is able to get here in time. Krebs, he's got his Self-Destruct ready, but with Zebasai going down, he's out of position. They've lost a major healer. Manitin, can you pull off a God Self-Destruct? He might have to actually use this here in just a few seconds as lasers are still pushing this payload. They still have momentum going, and oh, that's just Line Pro going down. He had a Sound Barrier! You had a Sound Barrier, Line Pro, you cannot afford to die right now.
The power of sound could have saved him, but not this time. But it's Munchkin keeping the payload secure. Laser Kittens now, the shoe on the other foot. Plenty of ultimates, Jason, to still use here. The blade is going to be the first one out. Kid slicing through Misfits as they come back out. Mineral Reinforce, no chance. The Transcendence now coming out, and the beat might be dropped here in just a moment. Slime Pro is just about back to this fight, and Laserkins might have pulled a rabbit out of the hat.
I don't know if Line Pro and the team really needed that one, but he can dance if he wants to. He can leave his friends behind because Line Pro with the Sombra at the end is able to help push this payload across the line in overtime. It wasn't pretty, but they got the job done.
Jason, point of question right now. Did Misfits go too deep on that defense where they got the 2 kills and chased outwards? Do you think it would have been better for them to just back out? Because they lost to Vic going in deep, and they lost a lot of their positioning, and Laserkins was able to come back and punish.
I think the biggest problem with what happened there was maybe Zebo getting caught off guard. The re-engage came in out of Laserkittens, and I don't know if they have the speed boost to retreat in time. And with Zebo dying, they lost the helium, the burst tune they need, the bio grenades to solidify these kills, and they kind of just got staggered one by one. To be fair though, Kib, he really went crazy at the end. I think he got like 3 or 4 kills to allow him to push that payload around that corner and eventually finish off. But I don't know. I mean, there was a window that Misfits was working with, right, where Gray had no Transcendence. Yes. So they were able to obviously wipe them up. But I think if they got 1 or 2 more kills, if they can kill Malzaza when they're on the outside, that would have actually prevented the stall from coming through.
I agree. They were on a razor's edge there where if they just got a little bit more, we'd be looking at that and go, it was a great dive.
Yeah.
But they came up a little bit short. They lost people in the process, and it opened the door. But, I mean, either way, we saw some good stuff from Misfits towards the very end, to reestablish and hold them off. But it was also very gutsy from Laser Kittens. And, we were talking going into the set that both these teams looked very good throughout the day in their other group stage matches. And so far, I'm sated. This is a good matchup thus far.
Your dragon is sated?
My dragon is all sorts of sated, Jason.
Okay, all right. Good times. So now going on to the attack here for Misfits. We've got Tvix and Hanzo. Most likely be switching off of that, but I miss the good old days of Tvix playing Hanzo. Looks like Laser Kitten's going to stick to what we've seen them use, what's been working for them. Just going for that 2-2-2. Krems, I talked about him as being a guy I really want to see. How he plays the D.Va is going to be very defensive, really aggressive, and haven't really been able to see too much just yet. I mean, that's not a bad thing. I just haven't been able to see how effective he's been, protecting the back lines. Because whenever, Misfits did attack, it's because they had the man advantage, or it's because Nevix had the Dragon Blade and the Nano Boost ready to go. So there was no real chance he could mitigate anything to stop his backline from dying.
Well, we might get a better idea of where Krems is at going into this game as Laserkins begins their defense. Misfits right now just sizing it up, but LK, they're going to take the initiative here, Jason. They dive right into Misfits as they try and cross the archway here. And you don't always see teams do that. Sometimes teams on this map give more room, but Laserkins not interested in giving up a whole lot for free.
Oh, they're going to have to now. You see them immediately backing away to point. See Nevix trying to work off the side. He has actually the ability to get in towards the high ground. I just wonder how it's going to work with Kid there. He's not being pressured down. You're going to have a lot of positioning to reinforce with him and Nevix together, trying to be that tandem, that duo team they need to solidify some of these kills. And again, he's actually being caught out here. Kid's going to go down here to Mineral. That's the kill they need to start things off. To Vic, it's a kill as well. And Misfits on the first attack might pull this off here, ZP.
Misfits, one good turn deserving another. Laserkins got through pretty quickly. Misfits getting through arguably even quicker. And that wasn't even a typical dive, really. It almost felt like a dive death ball where they really just, they had the buddy system in play. They stayed together, got a few kills, and didn't really split up too much there.
Yeah, so I think Laser Kittens gave up the high ground, actually. Krems wasn't there to help protect it with maybe Gray, and then, Kid there to float around. So they gave it up to reinforce into Nevix, and once they lost that position, they're fighting on 2 fronts. And as many countries have learned, you can't afford to really do that. But Tvik behind them, he's got his pulse bomb, he's looking for some sort of stick shot behind him. The Kobe's not going to happen. That could have been huge. Actually, honestly, that could have been huge. He could have got like 3 or 4 kills off that, but now they've lost the fun on the payload, and they've lost the ability to push this up.
So that pulse bomb was a total whiff, but I almost give it credit just for the style points. If he had connected in the way that could have, fading away from the tower, that would have been majestic. Unfortunately, Tvik not going to quite solidify there. And Laserkins now, speaking of solidifying, they get a chance to regroup on their entire defense here, Jason, and they have a Dragon Blade coming up.
Just imagining somehow Tvik being the Swedish Michael Jordan. The fadeaway shot or something, but
I'd buy sneakers.
Yeah, of course they'd be kebabs though. The logo would definitely be a kebab. The problem is now is that they've invested a little bit into that push. They've lost ground on this choke point too, which is you're gonna see Laser Kittens hold. But here's the blade coming through, and the Transcendence is gonna be there. They don't have this time a Valor Grenade to stop this.
No, they don't, and really Laserkins just running this really well in terms of ult economy. 1 Transcendence is all they needed, Jason, to push Misfits back there, and they still have 5 in reserve. That's textbook for defeating a push.
It doesn't get more flawless than that. It really doesn't. They didn't even lose anyone either when Misfits did go in. So now what do you got? You got 2 defensive, I mean, technically I'd say 3 defensive ultimates with Reinforced paired in there as well. Munchkin! Oh my lord, he's coming in from behind them. He finds Zebasai. He's not gonna be able to pick up the kill, but he forces the trance out of him.
The cavalry is here, Jason, and it is causing Zenyatta to do some prayers quite literally. But Misfits, they deal the dive somewhat well here. They back up, they trade out evenly, and the respawns are going to be coming in sooner, so it's an interesting approach. It's not necessarily bad for Laser Kittens, but Misfits, well, as I say this, it's Mauzaza able to come back and turn what should have been Misfits trading out a little bit better into a fight that's completely won for LK.
Yeah, the respawn's coming back in, and with them still aggressively holding this defense, Kid just going to easily join his team up from the high ground here with Blade ready to go. There's nothing to stop him. They know the Trent was used last fight. And, you know, forget being one with the Iris, you can be one with the Blade here, Zebasai. He gets dropped.
Okay, justice might rain from above, but right now it's raining Tracers and Genjis right onto Misfits in the back. I don't know if any Umbrella's really going to help you for that one, as off of Kib's flank, it works out. LK is very likely to hold here again, or at least delay for a long time, but it's looking more like a hold.
And somewhere out there, Rihanna's crying a little bit as her Umbrella is just not going to be enough to stop the Genjis, the Tracers, the Winstons, oh my. But Laser Kittens still have been able to hold on to this point. I mean, if they're not going to hold the second point, they still have bled, what, 2.5 minutes of time now away from Misfits Bank?
This is really good for LK. No matter how you slice it, this has been a solid stall. Even if Misfits brings it all the way to the end now, LK can feel good about where this is, and LK has no reason to give this up here just yet. The pulse bomb gets to the backline. Munchkin is unchained here. And Jason, you compare it to last week, I feel like this has been a much better day for Munchkin so far.
Yeah, 100%. And honestly, I would like to see a D.Va picked up here for Misfits. Protect your back line. Zebasai and Mineral have been focused every single time, and Manton might just need to go for the switch here. Instead, they're going for the triple DPS to just push through them.
It's been tough here. I mean, you expect the Genji in the backline, but when your Tracer on the other team learns to fly, well, it gets a little bit more problematic. And speaking of fly,
Kelly here.
Yeah, why not? There's post bomb, special delivery.
And the recall too. What's so beautiful about that? He recalls, but he's still in the air, so then he gets a good view of the lay of the land and figure out where he wants to go after that, and then just blink in that direction.
Oh my goodness, Misfits going on the left path. Hello and welcome to the Laser Kittens welcoming command, but they're pushing the payload all the while. You have Mineral in his best wins impression. We don't know if he's been tweeting here just yet, but finally he is thrown off the payload.
Actually, I just got a snap from him on my phone. I was just checking during that one.
All right, well there you go.
But yeah, I mean, Misfits, yeah, they got some distance, so they've been able to get out of this choke point, right? The stranglehold that was being placed on them. They have a visor, but they don't have a nano boost to pair this with. So the visor's gonna be very difficult to use, especially when Krems is gonna be still playing this D.Va. He has self-destruct, so there might be a slight window, but it's still gonna be tough because the fight's not breaking out on 2 different fronts.
Well, right there, you have a key moment. Munchkin able to get the better of Tavik there with the aid of his Ana, and LK now just solid mechanical kills here. They don't have to throw much resource-wise into it aside from a pulse bomb, Jason, and that sets them up really well for what could be the definitive fight of the map coming up. We are in the final minute.
But this is the thing now, look, because we have no Zenyatta and Laser Kittens. So Nevix, if you're gonna have any time to go off this entire series, make it now. Make it right now, because you have nothing to stop you unless you get hit by a sleep dart. And if that happens, you got 9 on problems.
Nevix is Goku right now, raising his hands for the Spirit Bomb. He needs the power. He doesn't have the Dragon Blade up just yet, but oh no. The sneak to Vic here on the payload. No one's looking at him. Laser Kittens, you might want to turn around. You have a intruder into the back. They do catch it out, but Misfits outmaneuvering a bit here. It's causing LK to have to run back in a hurry, and they do get back to payload, but it's a little bit messy, Jason.
Very, very messy, very, very sloppy because the kills are still going Laser Kitten's way, but Kid, he's already going straight off to the new Lunar Colony map here. He gets blasted into the sky. Team Rocket in-house, but the overtime is kicked off. 1 meter left to go here for them to actually push this payload across the line, but there's still so many people alive on the payload for Laser Kittens.
Well, they're down to 1 D.Va. Can they evict this D.Va and punch this in? Can they knock down the door? Misfits trying to do that right now, and yes, that castle door is going to be going down. That's a lot of doors replaced over the course of a day of Overwatch, Jason. Someone is making good money off of that.
You know, if you're in that field of work, you're more than happy to keep seeing Eichenwald being played, but so far how this game's been going, Misfits have just had something answering them at every single turn, at every single point of this map. Laser Kittens put on a stellar hold on that second point, especially on that choke point. And look how aggressive they're being here. Immediately go for Zebasai. Where's the protection? There's nothing there. And he immediately gets dropped.
There is no protection. Zebasai got run over. The name on that truck was Laser Kittens. And, I mean, the honking of the horn, very little solace there for the Zenyatta in that case. So now we're down to the final minute once more, and Misfits doesn't have a whole lot in reserve here, Jason.
Imagine it's not a truck, it's like Knight Rider. with Kit. I don't know, I see something futuristic with laser kittens. Or maybe from Dumb and Dumber, the little dog thing we were riding in.
I mean, why not both? The dog and the Knight Rider.
Maybe. Well, we do see Malzaza having the Karma Rage up. We have Kid with the Dragon Blade, which, again, he's not going to have a Transcendence to compete with just yet. He does have that small opportunity to make something happen, but we're almost hitting overtime here, ZP. This is the last chance for Misfits to make the push happen.
Well, Misfits right now throwing everything into it to Vic, striking one into the back, but Kib doing much the same. It is 4-on-4 here, but Kib coming up a little bit bigger, going to be demecking Manitin and going even deeper. Well supported here, and now reinforced. Last Desperation Primal Rage. Jason, he's just trying to buy time right now for Misfits to come back in, but Nevix with the blade, there is still hope, but it's slim.
Yeah, he's not dying. Maybe he's a trance just to make sure to get his Evoside quicker to the payload. I mean, that might come back to haunt them here. Grim still has a self-destruct. The payload is still moving. Soldier's going to be coming through. But she was out of Misquick. I don't know if that position was exactly where he wanted to. Maybe he's just trying to get the resuit off. But the Soundbear has now come in. Misfits, they still have momentum. They still have the push.
They have 5 players up. They're looking for that key kill. Tavik almost getting it, just barely denied. Gray going to get away at the slimmest of margins here. But Misfits not backing down here just yet. They have the possibility. Yes, the pulse bomb. It's gone. Not going to hit this time. And Munchkin in the back line working on Zebel once more. Both supports for Misfits are down. They have no more healing here on the payload. They must be perfect from here on out. And they're staying in here, Jason, despite the lack of healing, but for how long?
Not long, because he has his blade, and Krebs picks himself up and killing a D-suit onto Manitin, but they're still holding on somehow. And eventually that should do it. The Misfits will go down the first map here against Laser Kittens. Well done by them. Actually, I really liked, ZP, that second point hold at the choke point. Yeah. And especially the fight right after the initial loss of the point to completely catch them off guard.
The thing is that aggressive defenses on second are always on this razor's edge, and more often than not, we see a team, they overcommit, the Tracer goes in, maybe gets picked off immediately, then the team gets pushed back on 65, but credit where credit is due to the flanking combo of Kib and Munchkin here for Laser Kittens, because they were able to go into the back, apply very heavy pressure on Misfits, make really their supports in Zebosai and Mineral question what they were doing with their lives, but they got out as well. They didn't really put Laser Kittens in rough situations where they had to give up fights for free. They were effective in their backline flanks.
Yeah, and I even think that ult usage was some of the best that we've seen all day. We've seen a lot of spotty ult usage. I'm not going to talk about impact, as there were, there's some Eaton pulse bombs, and if there was a Kobe-esque move, maybe not in Kobe's prime, but they're choosing to use their ultimates at decent times, and this is some primo Overwatch you're able to see. Laser Kittens coming out on top this time around, and I think Kib's Genji definitely a standout there. He played really well, but I got to talk about Malzaza on Winston. He was a great pickup.
Yeah, he was, and it was easy to really underlook his contributions there, given what Kib and Munchkin were doing, but the reality is that behind any good flanking DPS in this meta is a good Winston that's making space, drawing attention away, and helping create those opportunities. It's a team.
That's what I like to believe when I play ranked. I'm just helping create opportunities when I play Lucio. At least that's what Hex says. He was definitely playing well. We've seen a lot of good Winston play over the course of the entirety today, actually. A lot of Winston's using that jump pack to its maximum efficiency, always make sure to land on different targets and always position themselves right. I just kind of feel bad for Misfits because that second point attack, they just kept doing like the same thing, and it just kept not working. And they had to go for a couple of hero switches, and